Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm, and today I'm here live on Valentine's Day to talk to you about what the foundational estate plan looks like. And this is like the estate plan that everyone should have no matter what. If you have kids or don't, married or not, have stuff you want to give people, something you want to give someone to or not. And basically what this is, by the way, too, is if you ever come and sit down and have a strategy session with me, this is sort of the spiel that I give to most people to just give you a general idea about what estate planning is and what it can do. So I thought I would just do it here in case you just want to see it and want to know. So estate planning, really, this is how I do it. I'm going to give it to you straight, exactly as if you were sitting in my office. And if you come in and you want me to give it to you again, I will. And it's going to sound exactly the same because I've done it 100 times at least, thousands of times maybe. But really, estate planning is created to cover two sort of specific situations. First situation is if you are alive but incapacitated. Okay, think like you're in a car accident and you're in a coma, or you have Alzheimer's. You're old and you have Alzheimer's. You can't make decisions on your own. And then the second scenario that estate planning covers is when you die. And within the first scenario that's covered are several sort of important things and important people that you appoint to serve on your behalf if you can't serve on your own behalf. The first is power of attorney. Power of attorney covers sort of all of your day-to-day financial life. This could be paying bills, and anything that you need to do that requires your signature or your approval. The person you appoint to be your agent, is what it's called, via your power of attorney, has the ability to stand in and do this for you. Now, if you are married, typically it's going to be spouse first. If you're not married, typically it's going to be sort of a trusted family member, maybe a trusted friend that knows your life and you trust to be able to sort of handle some of these potentially sensitive things if you can't. And this is critically important, and one of the things that people often forget about when it comes to estate planning, because if you don't have a power of attorney and something happens to you, if you're in a car accident, for example, to go and have someone appointed to this position or to put someone in this position for you takes a significant amount of time, it takes a significant amount of money. You don't always get to pick who that person is. And so by not having a power of attorney in place, you're really just leaving a lot up to chance. And this is not a lot up to chance for your family, like for your kids or for your heirs when you're gone. This is for you personally. So having a power of attorney is critically important to preserving your own safety in your own sort of personal life. So power of attorney is super, super important and often overlooked and not given the full weight and consideration that it should be given, okay? Number two, second part of your foundational estate plan, if you are alive but incapacitated, is called medical power of attorney. Medical power of attorney is much like the financial power of attorney, except it is related specifically to medical decisions, which would include long-term care decisions. So let's say you're old and you have Alzheimer's and you can't make decisions on your own. This person would be in charge of sort of helping to select the facility that you might go to get help, and also just make medical decisions on your behalf if you can't make them. All right, that's the second thing. Number three is healthcare directive. Healthcare directive is also very, very important. It basically tells the world if you want to pull the plug or not, if you are a vegetable, okay? There's no real sort of nice way to talk about this one. It doesn't appoint any people. It only serves to state your intention to the world and also to provide some certainty for your medical power of attorney who would be making this choice if it came down to that, right? So one of the things that, this is a total side story, so side note, there's this show on like Bravo or something, and it's called Tyler the Medium or something like that. Okay, it's this dude. He's a medium. He's like 20. Looks super innocent, super nice guy, super nice kid, but he can supposedly sort of like talk to dead people. And I watch it. It's really interesting for me to watch it. Not so much for the conversations that he supposedly has with dead people. Whether or not he has those or not is not really important to me. What I am really fascinated by are the questions that the people that are alive want to have answered about the people that have passed. And I can't tell you how many times in these episodes it comes up where the people that are alive, they just want to know, did I do the right thing? Did I make the decision that they wanted, that the person wanted me to make at the end of their life? And that's what the healthcare directive does. Okay, so it's super important. It also just prevents conflict between family members. So there's no option, there's no chance for anybody to say, you know, they wanted this, no, they wanted this. It's just spelled out there, right there on paper for you. Okay, if you have kids, then we also create a power of attorney for the kids and a medical power of attorney for the kids. And I typically just refer to these as sort of short-term guardianship paperwork. So if you and your spouse cannot take care of the kids, let's say you're both in a car accident and you're both in a coma, or you're both laid up and you can't make these kind of decisions, then you have already put in place the people that can sign for field trips, enroll in school, take the kids to their doctor's appointments, you know, just do these normal day-to-day things that you don't often think about having to do until you can't do them. Someone else tries to do them and is told no, they don't have the authority to do that. Okay, so that's what these other things do. Okay, so that is the first side of estate planning. You're alive, but you are incapacitated. You've been in a car accident and now you're in a coma. You have Alzheimer's. You're old, dementia, those kinds of things. Okay, these people can step into your shoes and sort of help take care of your life until you can get back on your feet. Number two, the second thing that's covered by estate planning is when you die, right? And the document that does this at its most basic foundational level that we're talking about right now is the will, okay? Will does a couple of different things. Thing number one, it's going to name your personal representative, also known as executor. This person is responsible for gathering your assets, gathering your debts, paying your debts, and then delivering or distributing your assets to whoever you have named in the will. Okay, that's one function of the will. If you do not name this person, then there is a hierarchy that is created by law of who can jump in and step in and fill that position. So you may not always want the person that's put in by the law, so you may want to go get somebody else. You may want to appoint them in your will, right? What estate planning, the foundational estate planning, and all the estate planning actually really gives you is control, right? It gives you control over making the decisions over the people who are going to sort of be taking care of you and your things and your assets and your family when you're gone. And it also puts you in control of where everything goes and how it's distributed and how it's handled and whether or not it's held on to for a long time, that kind of stuff. The second thing that your will is going to do, if you have kids, is name your long-term guardians, right? Who are the people that are going to step into your shoes as parents if you are both gone? This is super important too. I have kids. This is probably the most important thing to me, and it's one of the reasons why I got into estate planning, quite frankly. But if you don't have this in your will, if you don't have a will and you die and your spouse dies, a court is going to pick who your guardians are. And I always say this when I'm in these meetings with people. I always say, you know, that in and of itself is always a scary proposition, but I want you to think about that person in your family, or that couple in your family who looks awesome on paper, who everybody would think would be great sort of stand-in parents, but that you would never ever in your life want to have raising your kids. And that could be for a couple different reasons. They may not match your parenting style. They may not have the same philosophy that you do with religion or politics or education or money or any one of a number of different things. But if you don't name someone in your will to be the guardians, and the people that you name in your will, they are the guardians. There's no contesting that. They come in, they become the guardians, okay? That's how it goes. That's what makes the will so powerful, is that you control everything. But if you don't have a will, if you don't have these people named, a judge is going to pick. And the standard that they use is sort of best interest of the child, and they don't know your family. So they are just looking at what they can see on paper. And so if you're willing to risk that, that's fine. I'm not, and most people aren't. And it's not that hard to put this stuff together, so you should really, really think about it. And then the third thing that the will does, obviously, everybody knows about, it tells the world who you want to get your stuff. If you don't have a will, there's a specific hierarchy of people that get your stuff. Spouse, kids, parents, siblings, that's like the top four that will get your stuff. But if you want anybody to get anything outside of that order, or if you want people to get things in a different order, then the will is the place to do it. Okay? That's it, man. That's my spiel. I wanted to get that out of there. You know, this is the basic. This is the things that people have the most questions about. If you think that you might want to get something like this, please click the button below. Set up a time to talk with me. It's free. You know, I usually like to learn a little bit about your family, a little bit about what assets that you have, just so I can sort of tailor what I just gave you to your own specific needs, goals, wants, and situations, so that you can know exactly what you're looking for. So if you don't need this, that's great. But if you liked it, hit the like button, share it with somebody that you think might need it. And yeah, thank you for your time. And I'll be here again to talk to you again tomorrow. All right.